before the wind gets up too much, hopefully, I don't know, it's getting up already on this cold and frosty morning, I wanted to see if I could try what I was principally wanted to try today, which is this Assault 100. Now, I couldn't figure out why I had got a model in my DX9 for this guy, because I can't figure out how I ever flew him with a DX9, and I don't think I did. But I've now got a satellite receiver in him. I've connected him up with a DSMX satellite receiver, and I had a lot of troubles getting that to work properly, but I think it's bound whatever now, but I'm still, you know, a bit worried about the curves and things and the power and how it's going to work and the balance, and I couldn't get the canopy on right because of all the wire that comes with a satellite receiver. Famous last words. Is it going to work? Yes. Well, not much. May not like the cold. Whoa. Well, it's weird. It really doesn't like the cold, I don't think. It's tricky because it doesn't like the cold, so it doesn't start. But then once it starts, it really gets going. So it's extremely hard to do anything with it because you don't know where you are. It starts off not moving at all and then goes crazy. And I actually tamed down the curves a bit from what they had. They wanted to put the power immediately up to 80% in normal mode, which doesn't seem sensible to me. Why would you want to do that? I like my power to come up gradually a bit in normal mode. Not necessarily proportional, but not immediately 80%. I think my battery holder's come loose as well. Yes, it has. The pin that retains the battery holder's come out. Oh, sorry. It's very tricky to do. It's because it comes up.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
It either won't go at all or it suddenly leaps all over the place. Let it spin up a bit maybe and warm up. Nope, I don't know. I had it up there. Oh, that was the rubber band that was holding my satellite receiver. Oh, it's not going to come out because it's inside the canopy. This was the rubber band that was holding my satellite receiver to the board. Oh. What I am a bit worried about is whether that canopy is going to come up so much that it hits the rotors. No, I don't think so.
Normal mode.
It's a bugger. Because initially it doesn't want to go at all, I think because of the cold. But then once it gets warmed up a teeny bit, then it gets very nippy. I think that battery holder's come off again. I'm not gonna, well, I've got it flying. I think you could call that flying within the meaning of the act. But in this wind and cold, I think there's a limit to what I'm going to try and do. I don't know, and I don't know whether I'd want to fly this guy indoors at the community centre either. Well, I suppose you could, yeah. I don't know. I wonder if I dare put him in idle up mode. Well, I'm not doing anything very... Oh, that thing's coming off again.
Normal mode. Hold mode.
We'll just cut him. I think bits are... He's falling apart again as well. We're in hold, right? Yep. He's falling apart again. Well, I think, you know, for now, we'll leave him at that. I had a devil of a job getting this to work. You can't bind the satellite receiver on it. They don't provide any way to bind the satellite receiver on it. So what you do is you connect your satellite receiver. I'm using a Lemon DSMX satellite receiver. Let me just take the battery off. I hate these JST connectors. They're so hard to undo. So hard to get out. And I had to do this with the thing strapped down with the rotors turning the other day because I had a problem. I had my throttle channel reversed. So I couldn't stop. I could get the motors to calm down somewhat, but I couldn't get them to totally stop. So I had to pull this battery out. And it's incredibly difficult. I'm going to have to get a pair of pliers. It's incredibly difficult to get those JST connectors out. I hate them. I hate JST connectors. They are just so annoying. It's so, especially when your fingers are cold, but it's so hard to disconnect the blithering things. It's just really, really hard to pull those little JST connectors out. Don't like them. Oh, this is just ridiculous. There. Finally, so now he's disconnected. Let's just take the canopy off a minute and show you what we're talking about here. So see, there is my little Lemon RX satellite receiver. And it's plugged in here. The manual sort of has an arrow pointing here as if they expect you to plug it in here, but there's no plug there, so it's plugged in here, which is the only place you can plug it in. The problem is, well, there's various problems. One problem is they say, okay, you connect the last satellite receiver to, not to this, you connect it to a regular DSMX receiver. In my case, I connected it to a Lemon DSMX 6-channel receiver. You connect this to the satellite port on a regular receiver, connect that to an ESC, bind it to the model in your transmitter. There, with a bind plug, obviously, in the put a bind plug in the DSMX receiver. Turn the transmitter on with the bind button down, bind it. You get a solid orange light in the receiver, you get a solid orange light in the satellite. Then you unplug the battery from that, you turn that off, you unplug the satellite, then you bring the satellite and plug it in here. The satellite is now already bound to the model. So then when you turn it on, you get an orange light in the satellite, and you get a green light on the front of the receiver. Which I did indeed do, but then I had various other problems. From them getting the model set up and everything right, and then one of these are the 3 little wires that connect the motor. In my kerfuffle trying to connect things, one of those, they're just 3 separate little wires, the orange, the yellow, red and black there, and one of them came unconnected, so then I couldn't get the motor to spin up, and I couldn't figure out why until I realized one of those had come unconnected. They can come unconnected pretty easily if you're holding the thing between your thumb and finger. And as I say, I had it turned out in the model I'd originally set up in my DS9, I'd reversed the throttle for some reason. So that was not good. Had to dig around on the internet, figure out how it was supposed to be set up. Then at the end of the process, they say, after you've got it all bound and things, they say, attach the satellite receiver to the helicopter and put the canopy back on. Well, that's a bit like saying, put the elephant in the butter and then close the fridge door. I mean, how? what they make it look as if they're saying attach the satellite receiver to the side of the helicopter, but how can you? I mean, look, there's no way you can really attach the satellite receiver to the side of the helicopter, I don't think, without interfering with something. Maybe you might be able to fit it in there. No, I don't think so, and you certainly can't put it there because you'd interfere with the servo. I tried putting it underneath first, but it didn't really fit there, so as you can see, what I ended up doing was just putting it on top. But then you've got all this wire that comes with the satellite receiver that you've got to coil round, and it's fairly stiff wire. Wouldn't you put, like about 12-15 inches of wire on, because you're supposed to mount the satellite receiver a good way from the main receiver. Anyway, and I had a rubber band. I had a rubber band going back behind the pins there, holding that on, but it broke. This was actually held down by a rubber band as well. It wasn't just sitting there originally, but that was about the best I could do. But it does fly. Oh, I've broken a blade. Do I even have spare blades for this guy? That's not good. I've got a split in the back of that blade. Oh well. We'll see what we can do. All a bit of an experiment.